Hi everybody, it's Nick Vanderlaan from Jerusalem. It's the 26th day of the first month on Elohim's Enoch calendar, Elohim being Father Yahweh and his son Yeshua. So it's April 15th, 2018. So this message is going to be on first fruits and according to the Essenes, and we're going to look at some scriptures. So first fruits, it's celebrated the wrong way in many sects of Christendom and even the messianics. Myself, I didn't really understand it until I got understanding of the Enoch calendar, the day starting at sunrise, and then some of the writings of the Essenes who documented this day. So some changed the day of first fruits in the messianic circles to 3 days after Passover to fit when they believe was Yeshua's resurrection. But as I proved in a video from a couple of weeks ago, the sacrifice and resurrection of Yeshua on the Enoch calendar, Yeshua died not on Passover, but rather died on the first day of unleavened bread. And he was resurrected 3 days and 3 nights later, which was on the seventh day Sabbath at sunset, which is not a new day. It's just the end of the day and the beginning of nighttime for the Sabbath day. So it's not the first day of the week is what Christians and Catholics call Easter Sunday and associate with first fruits. Yes, Yeshua is the first fruits to Father Yahweh and fulfilled it in that type. But had Yeshua been in the grave until the real first fruits on the 26th day of the first month, his body would have seen corruption and broken prophecy, which we know doesn't happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things. This is going to be a quick video, but here's Leviticus 23. I have Leviticus 23 in 2 slides. Going through Leviticus 23, a couple things jumped out to me and I wanted to share it with you. So if you can take a look, we're going to look through the whole chapter of Leviticus 23, which talks about the feasts. It talks about the Sabbaths and the feasts. I want you to pay attention to what I have highlighted in red, in the grouping thereof. And these highlighted sections in red, which are dividers, and yet where it says Yahweh spake with Moses and speak with the children of Israel, you'll notice that these are dividers of holidays. So verse 1 it says, And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them. And then he goes down here and it talks about the feasts, holy convocations, the seventh day Sabbath being one of them. And then he says the 14th day is the Passover, and the 15th day is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And then in the 7th day is also another holy Sabbath day to Yahweh. So this is one grouping right here, guys. The theme of this is grouped. And yes, it's grouped with the 7th day Sabbath, but the 7-day period or 8-day period between Passover and the end of unleavened bread, so that's the 14th through the 21st, that time period is grouped together. And then it says here in verse 9, and Yahweh spake to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them. Okay, so this is another divider. And now here, the theme of this time, what I have highlighted as green is the first fruits. But then you count the first fruits right here, and it brings you all the way down to here, which is Shavuot. So this is a grouping right here. So you have your first grouping, you have your second grouping. On the next page, you'll see another break in red, and it's regarding Yom Teruah, the first day of the 7th month, a memorial. So here it is. Yahweh spake, saying, Speak to the children of Israel. So this is a feast by itself. And then we see another feast by itself, which is atonement. And here it is. Yahweh spake to Moses, saying. And so atonement is by itself. Then you have one last one. Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, the 15th day of the 7th month, Feast of Tabernacle, the first day and then the 8th day. So this is a grouping as well. So guys, we see these divisions and how Yahweh divided them. And what I'm going back to the beginning of the chapter. What I want to explain about it is that they're grouped together in theme and they're related to each other. So the people who erroneously put first fruits 3 days after Passover it doesn't fit in the theme of Leviticus 23 and how the feasts and the Sabbath days are divided. If so, it would have been listed here with unleavened bread and Passover, but it's not. It's in a different grouping with Shavuot. So first fruits and Shavuot go hand in hand. So please read this for yourself and see these things. I literally just saw it as I was preparing for this video. It just stuck out to me how these things were grouped. Hallelujah. And I said, whoa, this is a pattern here, and look at how the relationship. So this helps prove the fact that first fruits is not associated or during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Had it been on the Sabbath after unleavened bread, it would have been grouped here with unleavened bread, but it's not. It's different. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. This slide here is regarding the Essenes from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, this is the writings of the Essenes that was translated in the Dead Sea Scrolls found in Qumran. And here we have, information that they documented regarding their priestly order and how the feast days, and on what days the feast days are kept. So what we're going to do is we're going to toggle back between this slide right here and the Enoch calendar. The Passover is on the 14th day of the month, on the third day of the week. This right here is Passover. It just so happens this year that it's actually on a Tuesday, which is the Gregorian third day of the week, according to Google Calendar that I put this on. So it's on the third day of the week. 1, 2, 3, Tuesday, Passover, okay? On the 18th of the month, it's a Sabbath day. Well, here's the 18th day of the first month. It's a Sabbath, all right? Passover ends on the third day in the evening. This night in the evening, Passover ends. You're supposed to have anything that's left over of the animal, you're supposed to burn it before sunrise on the 15th, which is the beginning of that day. This again taken from page 403 of the priestly service right here, the Dead Sea Scrolls, a new translation. This is the fragment 4Q325. This is the fragment that's on. Here's another fragment that we're going to go over, and this is going to lead us to first fruits, okay, the barley festival. On the 11th of the month is a Sabbath. You can't see it here because I don't have the day, but 18 minus 7 days brings you to another Sabbath, which is the 11th. Okay, so that's correct. On the 14th of the month is the Passover, the third day of the week. And we have that again, guys, right here. 14th day, third day of the week. 1, 2, 3. It's lining up. On the 15th day is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, on the fourth day of the week. We have that right here, Unleavened Bread, day 1. On the 25th day of the month is a Sabbath. We have that. See you right here, the 25th, which was yesterday. When I snapshotted it, we're now here, but this is when I snapshotted it. It was 25th day. It's a Sabbath day. On the 26th of the month is the barley festival, on the day after the Sabbath. Day after that Sabbath right here, it's Feast of First Fruits. It's the barley festival. This is how they have it. I believe that the divisions and the patterns that I just showed you guys, that shows that it's not part of this festival here. It's on a completely own schedule, and it's connected with Shavuot. So you start on this day and you count 7 weeks, and it brings you to the 50th day from the Sabbath, which will be first fruits, or the Shavuot. So let's go ahead, and I have it right here. 7 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. Okay, the 29th through the 5th is 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Here's the 7th week, that's 49 days. The following day, when we turn the slide, this is the June 2nd. So the June 3rd will be, right here, here's June 3rd, will be Shavuot. And this is how it looks. It's the day after you count 7 weeks. So it's the 50th day. So this is just a quick video on this. Guys, hopefully this helps you out. Today is first fruits. And blessings to you. And shalom in the name of Yahweh.